Hello, and I want to just briefly explain. I wanted to do this by video because it's a little bit easier for me to talk about it than it is to write about it. But basically, I have talked to all of you that are on this, that will be watching this video, and it'll be up for some time. But because I just wanted you to see what potential glutathione has for you, and the fact that we have a supplement that can help you. Basically, the tests that I do, I'm doing them every month. Try to space them as much as I can to about 30 days. I've done 4 of them. And as I explain on the chart that I'm going to show you, it's hard to get your doctor to do it if he's not really acclimated to glutathione. But once he did okay me for an order, you have to have an order. After that, things became very easy. So let's take a look at the chart. Well, this is the chart that I use and to keep track of the test scores, and it's for 4 months. Took me about a month to get my doctor so that I could get an order from him in order to do the tests. But now he's given me a standing order of 6 months. I don't have to get any orders anymore for another 4 months. But this will show you what happened, and I want to explain. This was 241, but I had been taking Celgevity for some time, but in what I consider a low, too low an amount. But this month is a month that shows you something. It dropped 57 points in 1 month. That month, though, was a very difficult physical month for me. Almost every day I worked 8 to 10 pretty physical hours. I was very tired. And when you study how this all takes place, excessive exercise can deplete your glutathione. Excessive. Moderate to brisk exercise every day will actually increase your glutathione. There's a fine line here, but the month of July for me was a very bad month for a lot of reasons physically. But it was after that month that I decided to make some changes and started increasing the Celgevity. And was more sensible in my exercise work. I exercise every day, but I was adding to that about 8 hours of pretty physical work in the month of July. So the month of August, though, you see an increase of 39 points, and then in September, 9/24 of September, basically a month, it went up 41 points. So that means with normal work, I was averaging 40 points per month using Celgevity and ATP. But so for some of you who want to take it a step farther, let me go down here and point something out. This is the normal range. I don't know exactly what they mean by normal because the LabCorp will not tell you. They will only talk to doctors about that. But I could figure out from the chart that they sent that, for one thing here, I was in the 48th percentile. 264, though, is in the 53rd percentile. But you know, to me, that's halfway to optimal. Even though it's normal, it isn't what we want. We want to be in the high range. The high range starts at 324 and would go to 498. So, you know, I don't want to be in the 53rd percentile. I want to be closer to this number, but certainly over this number. And that is what I want to talk to you just a little bit about today. Now, very quickly, I want to explain to you what I did to increase at that point, because I think it's very important that you understand that. Basically, there's three key elements outside of the use of Cellgevity that are important to you. It requires some self-discipline. It requires a conscious awareness of being able to consistently do the right things. The first one, any expert in this area will tell you, is diet. Eat the right foods. I'm going to leave that up to you. But don't stuff your body with toxic food ideas because that just puts too much stress on the body's glutathione. You can find plenty of places to go to that and find out. There's a doctor by the name of Dr. Colbert who explains it very well, and you can go on the YouTube, and he's on there. You know, and also another doctor by the name of Mark Hyman, Hyman. Either one of those will give you a lot of information on diet. Second thing is exercise. You have to have a consistent exercise in a sensible one. I talk about that on the chart. There's a fine line between, as I mentioned, between brisk exercise, which is how you can gain the most in your glutathione level, to excessive exercise, which will start to deplete glutathione. We can't do much about the fact that we have to have vigorous long-term exercise, but use as much sense on that as you can, and try to keep it in the area of just brisk or hard exercise for a reasonable amount of time. The third one, I think, is more important than people realize. It's sleep. When you go to sleep at night is when your cells can begin to detoxify your body. Again, I'm not going to go into a lot of it because I'm not an expert in this field, but I've done a lot of reading, and sleep is very important to you. It was important enough to me, and this is one of the adjustments I made, is that I found out in reading about sleep as it pertains to glutathione, that melatonin, which you can buy in a drugstore, not only helps you sleep, it's a very good supplement for sleeping, no side effects, but also it's a very strong antioxidant. So when it's in your system and during sleep, when glutathione does most of its work, you will have a support for glutathione, and that I think helped me a lot. What I did was I increased my dosage dramatically. I now take 8 pills a day of Cellgevity, 3 in the morning, 2 at noon, and 3 again before I go to bed at night. That's one of the other things that I found out in my reading, that it helps to have one of your dosages be right before you go to sleep at night. So You're going to balk at that maybe a little bit because of expense. It is more expensive. But you know, uh, one day I kind of did not like the fact that I was going to have to take some pills for one of my doctors. And they were very expensive pills. And he said to me, it's a lot cheaper than an operation. Well, when I got my infection in my spine, um, you know, that cost over $20,000. Cellgevity is a whole lot cheaper, and you could be looking at cancer or diabetes or a lot more expensive items. So I just feel this is money well spent. If it keeps me healthy, if it keeps my glutathione level up where I stay healthy, I live longer, I live better, it's worth it. Thank you.